Potential CPI pump happening right now. Is this simply a short opportunity on Bitcoin, the NAS, the Dow, and even some oil? This is the daily entry. I'm bringing you day trading setups on these assets. Let's go. Now, obviously today, the big news is CPI. That is the one everybody is talking about. And you can see the market's getting a little bit excited at the moment because there's a lot of expectation around a CPI beat. Now, that is something we are watching. Also, we have revised job numbers, and this could potentially be short-term bullish for some of these markets as well. So these are the big ones to watch. Now, in terms of what happened yesterday, you guys should be positioned in a BTC long. I did cover these levels pretty accurately yesterday on the daily entry as well as the live trading show. So I've got a Bitcoin long cooking here at the moment out of that zone that I gave you guys. You can see yesterday lower down, we got that rejection in that first zone, and then we dropped into the long zone where we managed to get some longs on the live trading. Now, what does that mean today? How do we operate around Bitcoin, and what am I expecting? So keeping this thing as simple as possible. We can see Bitcoin has started lighting up here in anticipation of perhaps a CPI beat. Maybe the market was a little bit oversold yesterday, and you can see we are turning a little bit green. But is this something we can get excited about yet? I'm not so sure. Right now, what I'm looking at here in terms of BTC is we are moving into a general resistance area, 64,380 into, say, 64,800. This box is a very dangerous box for me. That is a high probability rejection zone, and we'll keep our eyes on this oscillator. As the hotter this oscillator gets, obviously the more dangerous it is going to be in that type of area. So obviously you want to tie these in for the higher probability reactions. Now, where is the next big zone? I'd say 65,400 looks interesting. That is going to take out these wicks. But where am I really interested in a short? I think based on what you see on the chart in front of you, it's got to be the 65,900 region into just above 66K. There is a lot of liquidity in this region, and I think it's a very easy grab for the market makers. If you go and take a look at those liquidation heat maps that I've been covering, you'll see that is an easy take up here for these market makers. So that is the ideal short zone for me today. If we do start dropping down, I do have one bullish play in mind, and that is that we hold the lows from yesterday. 63,300 looks interesting to me, so you can try that long here on any revisits. I'm going to hold that current long if we do start getting a drop, and I'm going to look for the second bounce in this region. If we lose these areas, reaction zone 62,800 looks okay, and then a reasonable long zone at the current point in time, 62,300. That is how I'm seeing it at the moment. I will obviously do updates in the Chart Hackers Discord during the course of the day, and we are going to be live trading. By the time you're watching the show, within an hour, we're going to be live trading on the Chart Hackers YouTube. You can see over here, and you can come and watch us trade the CPI data, hopefully out of some of these zones that you are going to see happening live. Okay, let's get into our next big asset here, and this is oil. Obviously a huge one for us to watch, and the more I'm looking at this, the more interested I am in fact getting now into some kind of short on oil. Why is this interesting to me? Look at that 2 hour. It's turning insanely bearish here at the moment, and you can see we have an untapped slightly macro 618 at 86 into 87. Also, interestingly, it ties into that candle close before we had that massive gap on Friday, the 31st of July. So perfect world. We get a beautiful tight oil short in that type of region. Obviously, look out other markets if oil starts cooking into that zone. So that is my short play on oil today. No longs that I'm currently looking at. Let's talk NASDAQ. This is an interesting one. So we got a good bounce off our region that I covered yesterday on the daily entry. And now with this pre-CPI anticipation, you can see things are getting a little bit hot at the moment. So first zone of interest, 29,776. You can see why, a couple of wicks sitting in this region. We also have a 786. And what I would suggest here is before engaging in the zone, make sure that you are looking at some kind of reversal print, or you're seeing some kind of exhaustion on the oscillator. So at the moment, it's a 50-50 zone for me based on the fact that we are pumping a little bit early into CPI. Now, if we do start running, what do we have untapped? Where am I interested in shorts? Look at that wick there to the upside. Short number one here, 29,950 looks pretty good to me for a NAS short. Then if we pump a little bit higher, 30,050, that looks like the next zone. Remember, we're looking for 1-to-1, 2-to-1 reactions here. We don't necessarily have to hold these things to the moon, and we can round trip these things pretty quickly. So be very disciplined with how you are taking profits in those zones. Where do we long the NAS? Well, if we drop lower down, I've got two fresh zones here for us today, and this will will be a beautiful sell-off bounce that we can try and attack. 29,400, and then the big one here has got to be 29,330. Look at that 50-day VWAP, beautiful wicks in that area as well for us. Okay, that is the NAS. Let's talk about the Dow, and this thing incredibly frustrating for me. I've been covering these wicks for the last couple of days. Look at these wicks sitting over here. We are still untapped. Every time I think we're going to get that long off that zone, they disappoint and they send it a little bit higher. So in terms of what is my action plan for the Dow today, it's still longs lower down. I want to sweep these lows, 53,690. That looks okay to me for the Dow. If we pump higher, yes, we probably have some kind of fight with this VWAP over here, but you can see yesterday they really extended it past that VWAP, so it became a little bit of a trap there in that first short zone. So how do we play this? I think there's three main zones that you want to look for action today, and the closer you are to an oscillator reversal at the highs means the higher the probability that that particular zone is going to play out at. So let me read the zones to you that I want to be trading today. 52,240 looks interesting. 54,360 looks pretty good, and then the highest conviction banger, if we explode into that zone today, that is my highest conviction play. 54,524. I think that one will deliver the hammer there on the Dow and send us down. Let's talk about gold as well. This thing is gearing up. I covered the short idea yesterday on the daily entry, and sometimes we just need to be patient, guys. You can see what happened previously. Every time we pumped on gold, we hit a level, we had a rejection, pumped, had a rejection, pumped, had a rejection, and I'm just looking for the exact same playbook again on gold. So 4,500, guys. That is the short zone. On gold, obviously keep your stops relatively tight in those types of areas. Okay, that is the daily entry for today, guys. It's going to be super exciting. Don't forget live trading. You're going to see a box appear over here. We're going to be covering these live. Hopefully we nail some of these zones, and hopefully you guys make some money with us while we are doing it. That's your daily entry. See you later.